Hi, hello, and welcome to what is technically an OJL. Very pleasantly surprised after being highly skeptical. OJL. I don't do like I. It's fine. So recently there was a full moon lunar eclipse, full moon Virgo lunar eclipse, right? And it's so interesting because that morning, my phone, I think it had died. So I had come to charge my phone, and the full moon was just staring at me. I'm using why is the chariot in reverse? I'm using the Rider Waite Smith deck, and we're just gonna pull a few cards. The Hangman is in reverse. Judgment and the Hermit are in reverse. The Ace of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords are in reverse. The Chariot, Justice, the Knight of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the title card, the Moon, Queen of Wands, the World. Okay, it's a bunch of cards in reverse. We're just gonna turn them up right. How about that? Also, my birthday was a few days ago. So for anyone that wished, I guess, to send me a happy birthday who may not, have my number or a way to contact me personally, thank you. I appreciate it. You're 33. I'm 33 now, which is wild. And I've got a good feeling about this year. So anyway, King of Swords and the Queen of Cups at the cut. I'm using the background. I mean, I don't have to use the background blur filter, but I am. So, Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups. The Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Cups. So, the Queen of Cups met both the King and Queen of Swords. And now the Wheel of Fortune is here. And there is a sword. It showed it before. There you go. There's a sword at the top of the card. All right, let's just see what's up. Just general, what is up today? Excuse me, right? I feel like there was a whole Queen of Wands. Lots of court card energy. And the Sun. But now with the Page of Cups. Okay. I feel like there have been a few times I was gonna go live. I don't even know how long I have. Honestly. All right. Three of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. Because the Three of Pentacles with the Queen of Cups, it gives an energy of Queen of Cups mediating something, counseling, or serving as a mediator between the King and Queen of Swords. And whatever mediation the Queen of Cups provides, I guess the resultant whatever adds up to that Wheel of Fortune energy. So we're gonna go with that. Why not? I'm gonna pull before and after the King and Queen of Swords. Before is going to be the energy before they went into the mediation. The after is going to be after they leave with the Queen of Cups, and then I'm going to pull before and after the Wheel of Fortune as like two outcomes question mark, and we'll go from there. So King of Wands at the bottom of the deck now, where we've seen the Queen of Wands before the Sun made an appearance. Now the Two of Pentacles is at the cut with the Two of Wands. Two of Pentacles and the Two of Wands, it gives, especially with the Wheel of Fortune, it gives an almost like a crossroads of destiny type of energy, like choices and decisions, events that have the power to dictate, determine, heavily inform. Heavily inform? I said heavenly. I was like, heavenly inform? What? Heavily inform outcomes or like life, right? Like, let's say, for example, you are like making a move and you can go like in one city, you're going to meet certain people, you're going to be in a certain environment and have more direct exposure to certain opportunities. And then the other city is going to be the same, but different. And that is like a moment in someone's life where a whole path sort of unfolds and unfurls. So that Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands is kind of, again, it's reading like a crossroads of destiny, but I feel like with the crossroads of, yeah, sure, why not? All right. Knight of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. Only sword court card we haven't seen is the Page of Swords. But the Knight of Swords is giving the energy of a harbinger. No, not a harbinger, like a emissary, right? That carries some kind of news, right? And whatever the news carried could be the result of the mediation between the King and Queen of Swords that with the Ace of Pentacles and then the Two of Pentacles sets one on one course versus the other. With the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Pentacles, it tends better and brighter in general. Okay. Four of Cups, Four of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. I wasn't going to look before and after the Queen of Cups, but there we go. It's so with the image of the Four of Cups and the Four of Pentacles is like a refusal to give in the Four of Pentacles and a refusal to receive in the Four of Cups. I'm gonna look from the bottom. Nine of Cups. Two of Pentacles, King of Wands. On the bottom three. I love how it keeps. Hey, you can see him. There you go. Kind of, sort of. The background said, "Is that a face?" There you go. It's almost like the Nine of Cups and the Two of Pentacles is like a desire path, the road, the outcome, the life that we want. But the King of Wands is on the other side. I'm looking before and after Wheel of Fortune, the King of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. Wheel of Fortune is in between the Knight of Swords and Temperance. Ace of Pentacles. Queen of Swords, Seven of Cups. Okay. Queen of Swords is in between the Ace of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. So again, on the same side, we see the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. Interestingly enough. Right? Let's do this. Let's put these here. I'll put these here, and then I'll put the King of Swords over here. How about that? Apparently, that's what I'm on today. Now, the King of Swords. Is in between the Chariot, which is the card that I noticed in reverse, and the Six of Cups. Three of Pentacles and the Hierophant are before the Chariot and after the Six of Cups. Again, we see the Three of Pentacles, which is what hinted at that mediator. Three of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, I think. Collaboration, cooperation. And then the Hierophant, which can symbolize marriage. So, like, big. And then the Queen of Wands is at the bottom of this stack, mini stack. And the King of Wands is still on the table. Giving like heavy, like, relationship counseling, reconciliation, renewal of vows, turn of a relationship type energy. So before the King of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Knight of Swords. After, we have the Seven of Cups, the Six of Cups, and Temperance. If you add the cups, that's 13 cups. 13 and 14. Temperance is 14. So the Death of Cups, and then Temperance. And that is what, Scorpio? Scorpio's a water sign. Also, Cancer is here. Gemini. With the Knight of Cups, the Nine of Cups, I don't know if I said Knight. With the Nine of Cups, I said Nine. The Two of Pentacles and the King of Wands. It originally came through as like something along the lines of like many desire a certain path, but not all have the courage, the whatever, to walk it. The drive, the determination, the discipline, the whatever. Temperance also pours from one cup into the other. So, temperance is the result, or it flows between the Seven of Cups and the Six of Cups. Whereas the Knight of Swords There's almost like the Chariot and the Knight of Swords are very similar in their like speed or expediency. But the difference between the Knight of Swords and the Chariot is the Knight of Swords can be more single minded, whereas the Chariot, it is unidirectional, but it is considerate of multiple forces, aspects, concerns, whatever. And in the Knight of Swords is haste and incomplete knowledge. It can rush to certain decisions or conclusions. So maybe again, this plays into like there are many that desire whatever, but not everyone has the whatever to walk that path to its destination. And there's something about the single minded focus of this Knight of Swords as it's chasing this Ace of Pentacles that it somehow doesn't get to, it doesn't make it all the way. So that is an almost like carrot on a sticky type energy. Like the Knight of Swords is constantly chasing that Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles never gets any closer. The difference between the Six of Cups and the Seven of Cups is the Ace of Cups. Here in the Four of Cups, that Ace is being offered on the space of what can't be received or refusing to receive. We see that Ace of Cups that would sort of tie these in together that would lead to temperance. Then it would be a 7 and 7 balance if you take the Six of Cups plus the Ace that's offered. That 7 7 would balance out to a 14 of temperance. Then you'd have 7 cups on both sides. Now, we see the cup being offered, and we see the pentacle, but it's not necessarily being offered the same way that the cup is being offered, but the Knight of Swords is chasing the pentacle, right? So that's the thing that will not be given, a refusal to give. The pentacle is being withheld, the cup is being offered here. And again, this came out with the Queen of Cups. So maybe more so than it sort of being, this could be like our intuition, discernment, excuse me, the divine in some way, working with us in some capacity as we sort of like logic and intuit our way towards whatever it is that we want, or in whatever way we feel, whatever way we desire. With an emphasis on either something earthly and material or an emphasis on a change in one's physical experience. And changes in the physical experience are overdue for so many and for so many different reasons. Right? As life continues to be life. And maybe it's just like before the pentacle can be received, the cup has to be. The pinnacle is what's desired, the cup is what's being offered. And again, with that Knight of Swords energy, as knowledgeable as the Knight of Swords is, and as convicted as it may be, and as sure as it may be, and as much as its certainty can read as something more esoteric like faith or intuition, it's unbalanced. It literally moves away from the balance of temperance to chase that pentacle, or from the balance of the chariot to chase the pentacle. And we're working on the earth water axis. This is Pisces Virgo is an earth water polarity, right? You got Cancer, Capricorn, Scorpio, Taurus, Pisces, Virgo. I would almost say this is more, maybe, because the Chariot is a Cancerian card, and because this is the third decan of Cancer and Capricorn, maybe it's more so on the Cancer Capricorn axis than it is the Pisces Virgo axis, even though Pisces Virgo holds the nodes and we just had that full moon Virgo. The 6 and 7 of Cups are first and second decan of, no, second and third, sorry. Second and third decan of Scorpio. Temperance is Sagittarius. Now, the 9 of Cups did come out, which is the second decan of Pisces. I don't have. Maybe Jupiter? Maybe not. I'm trying to think if anything is on the third decan of Cancer. But I don't pay attention like I used to, so I don't know. Jupiter is in the second decan of Cancer, currently retrograde. Uranus is in the third decan of Taurus, which is at 7 of Pentacles. We have the 7 of Cups. Anyway. Okay. Juno was in Capricorn. Very loosely opposing Jupiter, like 7 degrees. Queen of Wands, Hierophant, and the Three of Pentacles. Hierophant and the Three of Pentacles is working with one's intuition and discernment. And it could go deeper than that. Queen of Wands is the source for whatever, for the singular sunflower. She is the light. Which brings an element of substance, but it also brings, and she's wearing yellow. It brings the solar plexus to mind. Which my knowing is beyond rusty. You would have thought that like week after week after week after week after week of like doing the meditation classes or whatever, would have like made it a little bit more permanent up here. For when I was there, I knew, but an imbalance, it's like an imbalance in the solar plexus could be when we are not our own master. And I guess an overactive solar plexus could be when we try to take control or exert mastery or control over things that we don't have any control of. So maybe it's like if there is a desired path. What I like about, or what's interesting about it, almost reading more Cancer Capricorn, is that Cancer and Capricorn are cardinal energies, which with that Wheel of Fortune is like, oh, Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. What? Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Jupiter in Sagittarius. Um, anyway, excuse me. What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, Cancer and Capricorn are cardinal. And with that Wheel of Fortune, it felt like a brand new sort of like direction or a new start or something happening like almost out of left field, the unexpected. Right. It's almost like the King and the Queen of Swords were on there. And I love that the Queen of Swords is sitting in the place of the intuition. Usually, like the Queen of Cups would sort of represent the intuition more, but it's really reading, feeling like the Queen of Cups is some divine or true intuitive element. Right now, the intuition is being compromised, potentially compromised by logic or desire, or the intuition could be being used as a tool to have a certain outcome come to be, right? Like, I really want to do whatever. I know I'm saying whatever a lot today. The metaphorical bucket is low. The bottom of the barrel has been scraped. There are no more metaphors right now. Um, but it's like there's something that we want, and we try to use our intuition to like feel a way to get whatever it is. And so it's like that's why it's reading more Queen of Swords. Like it's not a truly intuitive element. It's a guided, it's a forced, it's a coerced intuition to fit some kind of aim. And maybe also because of that, that also disrupts the balance between the logical and intuitive. The balance that both Temperance and the Chariot would sort of signify. We got the Four of Cups, the Six of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and the Nine of Cups on the table. Almost 1 second. No, that can't be it. No. What's also interesting is the only Sphinx on the Wheel of Fortune has taken the sword. I know I mentioned it before. Okay, I might turn the background blur off. Just trust me. Okay. You see that? I put it next to my head. It's holding the sword, which is like you could say it's arresting the momentum of this Knight of Swords before it does something typically brash or reckless, or it it acts too far off of too little information. I don't know how else to say that right now. Maybe it's like it's too definitive for the information that it has access to or the information that's available to it. I feel like I haven't really read the Seven of Cups, Six of Cups in this temperance. And like the Seven of Cups is like choices, the Six of Cups is nostalgia or the past, or something around sort of like childhood. You could say it's like an inner child too, because why not? So this could be like one way this may resonate, what I usually call like low hanging fruit, because it's easy to like see how it would resonate. It's like right there. Before, as things stand and have been standing between the King and Queen of Swords, the Knight of Swords, with its limited information, is pursuing this Ace of Pentacles. Right. And especially with that, like not enough information, or it's too definitive for the information that is available to it. Almost like it's more certain than it should be because it doesn't know what it doesn't know. Whereas on the other hand, especially with temperance being between the six and the seven of cups, this could be like there are choices and options available to someone that the thinking, logical, reasoning mind would never consider because of low hanging fruit experience or life experiences. What the gurus and the tech, whatever people that people like to look up to or emulate because of what the algorithm, be it like the real life algorithm, right? Like if you do this and do that and do these other things, then you'll be successful. Type of like there's a certain scheme, and a scheme being like a plan, a list of steps um, that tend to some kind of success. So the thinking, logical, reasoning mind seeks something to emulate, or it goes based off of what is known. Whereas someone's intuition is leading them down a more creative path, even if it's like something not typically deemed as creative, they go about it in a creative way. Creative just being unconventional, unconventional just being not the standard, not the norm, unconventional being not the way that people are told they have to go about doing things. And so there's some kind of dissonance between attempting to utilize the intuition to accomplish a certain means, but also at the same time not truly tapping into like not following one's intuition as it like truly is, or in its like raw state, right? Unfiltered, unguided, uncursed, unprompted. And it's, yeah, it's that combination between, it's like a childlike naivety with options. It's like only a child would think that you can do this and do that, and then like you'd be successful or things would work. Only someone who is a novice, or only someone who is outside of the industry, or only someone who is uneducated, or only the layperson would think that you can do this, do that, and like it would work. And it's interesting how the spiritual and intuitive element, like how intertwined it is with discovery and invention. Like so many breakthroughs. Even the science, the science tarot has a few of them in it. Like there have been many breakthroughs that have happened because someone had a dream, or they had like an inkling to try to introduce something into the experiment, or to observe something in a certain way, or whatever. And now it's like it's reading Wheel of Fortune because it's like something new. If you do what's always been done, or what's already been done, you're only going to get more of what you already have, or what is already available. And again, that sort of plays into the creativity of it. So it doesn't have to be a creative endeavor in terms of like music or art or anything like that. Can be, obviously, but it reads as creative because it's not the standard. Now the Three of Pentacles and the Hierophant reads like an endeavor that the divine is working with someone to bring about. Like it's a collaboration between someone and the divine. Right. Even if the cup isn't what is desired, if one's intuition truly, discernment truly tells them that the cup is what's needed and the divine offers the cup, they take the cup and then they get however many pentacles. I mean, honestly, kind of sort of with the Hierophant, they get to a point where pentacles are inconsequential. But with that Queen of Wands, just like that King of Wands, there is maybe a time where the thing is sustained by the individual, right? So if someone's intuition leads them down a creative path to get wherever they're going versus the standardized, typical path, they, like, again, low hanging fruit, maybe they're going to be people that they know, or people in the industry that are like, well, if you want to be successful, you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to do these other things. Or maybe they'll encounter a lot of naysayers because, again, it's not a traditional path. That Queen of Wands would be like someone being their own support in spite of, or in despite the criticisms and the lack of belief that they encounter. And that could be, again, it plays into that King of Wands. Not everyone has it within them to necessarily not cave under the disapproval or wavering of other people. And so they kind of miss out. We did see the Queen of Wands with the Sun, as I was shuffling. So it does get to that point where it is like more self sufficient, right? Which is another reason why it really plays into a cardinal energy. It's because it's almost like never been done or not the standard practice. If it were mutable, then it would be more like there are some people that kind of do it. It's known. It's still building credibility, or more and more people are seeing it as an alternative. Um, if it were fixed, then it would be as certain and surefire as the whatever is happening between the King of Swords and Queen of Swords. The logical thing, right? This is the logical thing. That's when it's fixed. And I guess there is with this temperance a bit of an encouragement just because other people may not be supportive or may not get the vision. It doesn't mean that you don't have support. Like, this is the divine in whatever way the divine shows up to support. Excuse me. Cool. So you could say it's also like being distracted by the destination, or being so focused on the destination that missteps are taken on the journey, right? If sometimes, depending on geography, right? I'm like the geography of a situation, which I feel like if there's a cliff, if there are rivers, if there are other things, a straight shot may not be um, available. But if we're only focused on the destination, we can walk right off of cliffs. We can walk right into oceans. And if our intuition and discernment is telling us, hey, turn here, turn there, don't go in that water, but we choose to ignore it or sort of force it to conform to the destination that we see, then our experience is whatever our experience will be. Anyway, I'm sure there are larger contexts. And what's interesting between both the King and Queen of Swords is you see water in the background of both of them, or you would if it weren't blurry. But only the Queen of Wands, or the Queen of Cups, sorry, has water at her feet. Water is what's being offered in the situation. But water isn't what someone's looking for. Or there's just a sort of hesitation around it. So I don't know. It's not, I don't want to say it's not a time to be realistic, but maybe it's a time where miracles can happen, or where certain opportunities are being made available, certain exceptions are being had. There's a fool. A fool in the Ace of Wands. Tempered, tempered passion. Again, and so unconventional pathways, processes, means may be beneficial. And it could be a matter of timing, right? Who knows? All right, final card, please. Cards, plural. The Knight of Wands was face down. The World and the Ace of Swords have come out. Bottom of the deck is the King of Swords. I think it's the King of Swords in the in between tarot. So it's between the King of Swords and the Ace of Swords where there is a succession that's happening. Succession came out not like extremely recently, but Succession has come out. And I don't remember the context in which it came out. Because it feels like whatever this Ace of Swords represents, with the World card, it's come to an end. Like the divine has come to reclaim some kind of Ace of Swords. And what's interesting about this Knight of Wands is it's almost like the posturing on this Knight of Wands. It's given like the Knight of Wands has hit the brakes. And this is the horse's reaction to like suddenly being halted mid gallop, right? There's the gait, the trot. I think the gallop is the I think the gallop is the fastest they go. The Knight of Wands has pumped the brakes on something. See, it's like take it as it resonates. It's like the energy of a very foundational shift. It's almost like finding out some piece of information that completely uproots someone's foundational understanding of whatever. And, but it reads more like being intuitively led and guided to something that changes someone's foundational understanding of something and being walked through, however loosely, creating a new foundation, if that makes sense. Because it's almost like sometimes with a sudden uprooting of one's foundational, there's like a lostness, not only at something so deep or core or whatever suddenly being displaced, but also at like not knowing how to replace it or to fill it, or maybe not feeling comfortable, maybe not comfortable, just like not knowing what to do. And so at the same time, as one foundation is being uprooted and or rooted out, a new one is being built and established based upon certain truths, however personal. And because the Knight of Wands is here, again, with that Knight the Nine of Cups and the King of Wands, what someone desires may have led them down a path where their entire foundational understanding of something has to change. And then it's a matter of discerning, intuiting, and working with whatever divine, supernatural, natural, spiritual forces to continue down that path versus falling back on what is already known, what is logical, and trying to create a bridge between where someone is, where they want to be, and or the destination that they see, and making a bunch of assumptions to like make the math fit. I don't know. Maybe it's proper eclipse stuff. Cool. Well, that's what I got. I hope y'all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting along it to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey, and way you find, and I'll read the world. Why not? So, in the greater arcana and their divinatory meanings, the world is assured success, voyage, route, immigration, flight, change of pace when upright. Assured success, love that. Voyage, love that. What I like about that success, though, it's again in like a process of succession. Like, wow, okay. I might need to like read this book a little bit, honestly. Low key, there's some interesting things in here. Um, King of Swords, whatever arises out of the idea of judgment in all its connections, power, command, authority, militant intelligence, law, offices of the crown, and so on. Hence, also a lawyer, senator, doctor. Queen of Swords, widowhood, female sadness and embarrassment, absence, sterility, mourning, privation, separation. Eh, like assured success, like whatever is happening will happen, which is again why it would be unwise to maybe invest so heavily in something that is on its way out. Who knows? Only you know what resonates for you, and only you can tell what is true. Eh, for the most part, I mean, in some capacity, there are people who are positioned such that they can be of assistance when maybe we have questions ourselves, right? So, anyway, I hope you all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And I guess, like, when I say I hope that you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality, if that requires something atypical, I guess it's how you define alignment. If you define alignment as some kind of standardized process or procedure to follow in order for something to happen or occur or to ensure something, then that's one path. If you define alignment in terms of what you know you need to do or what you just what your intuition will tell you, regardless of how you discern it, what your intuition will tell you, um, like to do to for whatever. And sometimes it's like something can be atypical but still aligned. It matters on the definition of alignment. Anyway, I hope that whatever you need along your path to journey you find. And until next time, just keep doing your best.